welcome to this new video for my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Carolera, and today I'm going to be reviewing several podcasts that I think are relevant to the content that I have on my channel, which is books, movies, TV series, pure dramas, history, Hollywood history. So yeah, it'll be an unusual review because I want to actually be talking about my usual book, movies, series reviews. And the reason why I'm doing this is because at the end of 2021 I wasn't really feeling like reading anything. So I immersed myself into the world of podcasts and I discovered several that are quite good and I would love to recommend. And this isn't a sponsored video or anything. I just wanted to share my passion for them because they gave me hours of entertainment and knowledge. Okay, so the first one is The History Chicks, and I am literally super obsessed with this one. I would wake up and listen to an episode, I would go off to work, and then when I got home I would listen to up to 3 more episodes. I just couldn't stop listening to these two ladies talk about historical figures and from time to time female characters. When I knew a subject really well, I would get annoyed because they had missed saying something important or had said something that I did not agree with. But when I listened to episodes of women I didn't really know that much about, it was a pure delight to be taken back in history to these times they lived in. And I want to mention the episodes I listened to so that you can get an idea about what they talk about. Empress Sissi of Austria, Catherine the Great, Margaret Molly Brown, and the Titanic, Isadora Duncan, Louisa May Alcott, Louise Brooks, Audrey Hepburn, Marie Antoinette, Barbie, Harriet Tubman, Anne Frank, Abigail Adams, Mary Pickford, Jackie Kennedy Onassis, Coco Chanel, Wallis Simpson, Lucy Montgomery, Eleanor of Aquitaine, Lucille Ball, Beatrix Potter, Mary Queen of Scots, Elizabeth I, Anne Boleyn, Catherine of Aragon, the last 4 wives of Henry VIII, Elizabeth Woodville and Margaret Beaufort, Joan of Arc, Hattie McDaniel, The Woman of Gone with the Wind, Agatha Christie, The Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, Cleopatra, Amelia Earhart, Jane Austen, Josephine Baker, Nicholas II and his family, Lady Jane Grey, Clara Bow, Madame de Pompadour, Mary Shelley, the Duchess of Devonshire, the 90s, 50s housewives, Queen Victoria, Princess Charlotte, Jenny Jerome Churchill, Gilded Age heiresses, The Mrs. Astor, The Age of Innocence, Cinderella, Dolly Madison, Sarah Bernhardt, Shirley Temple Black, Charlotte Bronte, Pocahontas, Wonder Woman, and many, many more. Another podcast is Gone Medieval. This podcast covers from long-lost Viking ships to kings buried in unexpected places. From murders and power politics to myth, religion, the lives of ordinary people, Gone Medieval is history's hit podcast dedicated to the Middle Ages in Europe and far beyond. And I love medieval Wales and England after having fallen in love with Sharon K. Penman's historical novels set in these places during the Plantagenet kings. So anything that can be related to them, I'm going to listen to. Also, I was introduced to this podcast thanks to someone posting the episode where Charles Spencer, the late Princess Diana's brother, promotes his book about the sinking of the White Ship. And these are the episodes of the podcast that I've checked out so far. Richard III. Who decides what is a treasure? Changing horizons in the Middle Ages. 100 Years' War. Did the papacy support the Norman conquest? Inside the National Archives. The Bayeux Tapestry. What is a pilgrimage? Edward III's Golden Treasure. 7 medieval churches, castles, guns, and the War of the Roses. King Arthur. The Walls That Made Wales. Cecily Neville, Duchess of York. The Power of a Queen, The Origins of the English, Matilda, Empress, Queen and Warrior, The Plots Against Henry VII, The Rise of Henry VII, and John of Gaunt. Filmsuck is another podcast, which is quite great. There aren't that many episodes on this one, though, and I discovered through Instagram, but I really like the 2 women who presented and their jokes and humor. I've listened to their episodes on Vivien Leigh, Elizabeth Taylor, Sofia Coppola's movies, the West Side Story original and remake films. I'm also planning on listening to the ones on Tallulah Bankhead, Oscar Wilde, Tennessee Williams on film, Halston. And I mean, these two just have me cracking up all the time. I remember that they really destroy Sofia Coppola's films and it was very funny the way they did it. And also they were talking about Elizabeth Taylor and they described this picture where Grace Kelly and all of these beautiful delicate ladies are eating salads at lunch hall from one of the Hollywood studios of the day. And then in the back table there's Elizabeth Taylor eating a steak with all of these men and it was just so funny and I had to see that picture, which I'd never seen before. Another podcast is Not Just The Tudors. Professor Susanna Lipscomb talks about everything from the Aztecs to witches, Velázquez to Shakespeare, Mughal India to the Mayflower, not, in other words, just the Tudors, but most definitely also the Tudors. Each episode, Susanna is joined by historians and experts to reveal incredible stories about one of the most fascinating Puritan history. This one is good too, but I think it's the one I listened to the least. But it's still really well done, and that's why I wanted to recommend it. These are some of the episodes I'm interested in. Did Thomas Seymour groom Elizabeth Tudor? The Making of Oliver Cromwell. The Letters of Henry VIII and Ellen Boleyn. Lady Jane Grey. The Gunpowder's Plot. Tudor's Origins. Clothing Tudor's Queens. Tudor in Love. Henry VIII's Break with Rome. Beauty Tips from the Renaissance. Queen Catherine Howard. Elizabeth I versus Catherine Medici. The Story of the Death of Anne Boleyn. The Dissolution of the Monasteries. Origins of the English in India. 17th Century Female Spies. And a new podcast that I've been listening to is called Classical Stuff You Should Know. And at first I was hesitant because they were guys and I prefer a woman's humor. But they were pretty good. I've listened to them reviewing Pride and Prejudice and Great Expectations so far. But I also like their Plantagenet series. There are like 6 episodes so far that I've listened to and they're fascinating. They miss some stuff that I know about and they also teach me stuff that I didn't know. So it's very entertaining and I'm quite obsessed with their Plantagenet episodes, as I said. But this one I just discovered it. So yeah, for the moment I believe that this is all I have to say about all of the podcast recommendations I have for you up to this day. Thank you so much for watching my review of them. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that you liked the video. Please let me know if you did or if you didn't, as well as what are the podcasts that you listen to that you recommend. And if you've heard the ones that I mentioned, do you like them? Do you not like them? Why? Why not? I would really love to talk about all of these things and more that are relevant with you all. Also, in the description box below, you can find the link to the podcast's episodes on Spotify. And well, I'm Quero Herrera, the Mental Traveler, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you're in the world. I'll be seeing you soon. Take care and goodbye.